Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by Sean Carter, who's taken on Aldric Cassata at this upcoming BCMMA card. Now, I'd call it a Cage Warriors veteran match, but I tell you what, for local UK MMA, it's a hell of a stat card.
Oh yeah, it's a great card. It's a great card. There's lots of good guys on that card. It's a card that I suppose you could put like all of them guys on like any UK card, and they'd deserve their place wherever it was, you know.
Yeah, I love the fact that when I heard the card getting rolled out and the names kept coming, I was really excited about it. You know, I thought it was a great move by BCMMA. They're starting to make really intriguing UK matchups in the sense that these matchups have an effect on the UK MMA scene. Again,
yeah,
BCMMA they're just building anyway. Obviously, it's still early days with BCMMA, but I tell you what, you can see the progression of it already.
I think it's just. I think obviously with Jack coming on board, Jack's, I lose count of how many fights he's had, like maybe 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, he's had a lot of fights and he's fought on a lot of shows, and you know, it is what hopefully people want to see, and like people on the show get treated the way that Jack's probably been treated, from like absolute, lowest of the low to being treated like right up there, like really well. So he tries to make the fight show as comfortable and smooth running for fighters, so they're not waiting around and all the normal hassles you don't want. And then also he puts on fights, where you've got two guys in there that are gonna go for each other, as opposed to sometimes you see, one-sided affairs. You know?
Yeah. I say they're catered for a certain opponent. Some fights. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah,
it's an ugly side of the sport, which I suppose we've just got to hopefully in time weed out. You know, you get the local guy, and they'll try to make sure they get someone in who's less favourable.
Yeah, this is a part of the sport. People, they want to, but they want to build a fighter. They want to build a promotion. I do understand that they have to do it.
Yeah.
But hopefully, BCMMA have sort of got it to a good point where there's you never, like, from watching the shows in the past, you never sit there and go, this guy's a div and this guy's a an absolute badass. It's always you've always got people in there with a skill set. So that's what people come and see. That's what people want to see. So that makes for a good show.
Oh, mate, it does. They put an effort as well into the amateur ranks. They have championship belts. They put a nice emphasis on the amateurs as well. You see, and I love that. I think it's great because the amateur scene, it's crazy. You think about when you started as a pro, what the amateur scene was like then to now. It's chalk and cheese.
Oh yeah, like it's like when I competed amateur, I had, for example, like I had 4 amateurs, and I turned up at the event each time, got read 4 different sets of rules. So each amateur fight I fought under 4 different rule sets.
Yeah.
4 different time sets.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a mishmash of gloves as well. So it was like, oh yeah, fours, sixes, you know, whatever's, you know. So like, and that was I was only an amateur for a little while. It was so out of 4 fights, I fought under four different times and 4 different rule sets. So
Yeah.
it's and now you're getting things, you know, a lot better, and you know they're treated to like the same as like the pro guys. Really, they weigh in a little bit later, but apart from that, that's they're like the same as expected of them. So
yeah, it's great, isn't it? I love it, mate. I think it's like you say. I was the same as you. I remember doing amateur stuff and the rulings and everything. It was just it was crazy. I knew that with one show I was doing certain rules. If I went to another one, it'd be different, and it would mess your head, because if you train for one show, you'd have to learn to you'd have to stop doing certain things, like let's say heel hooks, obviously, and stuff like that, and cranks. But then some shows would allow like a toe hold, but some shows wouldn't. So then it was just little things like that. You'd have to start to remember which one, and you could easily get caught out with them. Oh, it's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, definitely. I remember training for, on one show in particular, I remember training for 2 5s. That was what I was training for. And I turned up and it was 3 3s. And I was just like, oh, that's a bit weird. But
yeah, mate, there was some crazy rule. Do you know what? I love the fact there is, like you say, the amateurs are being treated like professionals. You know, they're taking it a lot more serious, and the standard goes up now.
Yeah, and with the, I always say this wrong,
MMA.
AF.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
With that and all the competitions, you know, there's, you know, it's obviously like a little bit difficult with finance, I think, like a few guys have said, but it's very young, you know, it's only been going a couple of years, like, you know, you've got people, you know, you've got almost, hopefully, like you do with the amateur boxing, you know, you have possibly, you might have like a southern area, like northern area, central area sort of way onto like a British eliminator thing, onto like, you know, representing, you know, the UK or England or however you want to play it, as an amateur sport, which would be great, you know.
Yeah, it's great. It is great experience as well. You know, they get to go to Vegas if they can, obviously, for that fight week and that international fight week, and they have the World Championships. Then that's something that you know. That's mate. Imagine that. Imagine when we were doing amateurs, someone said to us we could go and do that. I'd be biting their leg off.
Yes, it's you know, it's good. You know, like the you know, without getting too like Mr. Miyagi and like getting too philosophical about things, you know. You know, you look at where the sport sort of modern day as you know has come in, you know, 20 years. You know, it's a really big, it's a really steep curve, you know.
Yes.
So and it's still really a minority sport. So
yeah, it is, mate. Who was I speaking to about it? I think I was speaking with Jeremy Clump about it. He works in the States, does journalism, and we were talking about that. The bubble. We are in an MMA bubble, and everyone you know loves MMA. So when you actually when you step out of that bubble and you meet someone and they go, "What's MMA?" and they don't have a clue about any of it, you forget. That's when reality hits and you go, "Yeah, this sport is still nowhere near as big as I think it is."
Yeah, exactly. Everyone like goes, "Oh, you know, MMA, like it's football."
Yeah.
Like no one, you know, like even as far as, I don't know, if you talk about, I don't know, Conor McGregor or John Jones or something like that, you know, even up at that level, you know, people still don't know them
No.
like they know who Lionel Messi is.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not the same level. If you went up to, 50 blokes just in the street,
Yeah.
I reckon 50 of them would know who Lionel Messi is,
Yeah.
and then less would know who like the MMA guys were.
Yeah, fraction. Yeah, it's crazy. Like it really is. I remember it hit home with me when I was spending a bit of time with a lady friend, and I thought, oh, I know, I'll link in Ronda Rousey because Ronda Rousey's done movies. She's done, all this stuff like that. I thought, oh, I'll use that. Do you know who? And she didn't have a clue who Ronda Rousey was. Not one iota, not one little bit of it. And I thought,
no,
yeah, still not there.
People don't, to the point where, like, and also sometimes people know so little about it that Arnold Allen.
Yeah.
And he's still the second best MMA fighter in his village.
Yeah, definitely.
Because because people, I forget the guy's name, but there's another guy that's won a world championship on, I don't know, like, I'm the hardest dude in my road fighting championships or something, and everyone thinks that he's the number one guy in the village.
Arnold needs put in his place. It's fine. He's only young. He'll learn.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like the general bod, like you say, a lot of the time don't know anything about it, and if they do, like a lot of the time they're not as clued up as we think everyone else is.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and you yourself, like you say, you've seen the evolution. Didn't you? You went up to Tristar recently, haven't you? And done a little bit of playing around there, let's say.
Yeah. I went over and trained Tristar for 3 weeks. It's a good experience and stuff. They've it's obviously one of the big teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean in the world of MMA. It was a good experience. I went over there, sort of like Arnold sorted me out, placing the dorms, and I just went about my business basically.
When you were there, then obviously you trained in the UK. Going somewhere different, was it more like? Yeah. Was it refreshing in a way? Was it like because you almost like starting new because you're training with, apart from Arnold, there's some guys you'll not have trained with, guys, but obviously the coaching, they've got different mentality, they've got different set ways. Was it like a refresher to you? Did it almost like it reignite you in a way because you can have the same coaches where you are, but then when you go somewhere else, it can also start something different inside you.
Do you know what? It was a great experience. It's basically the main difference is the number of high level partners.
Yeah.
Like at one time or another, there's always 10, 15 guys that are in the UFC, and then you've obviously got your big marquee names there as well, that have gone to the highest of the high, that sort of are
Yeah.
Like with at our place, for example, you know what I mean. If you know if one guy stubbed his toe, the other guy's ill, and you know someone's having a rest week because they've just fought.
Yeah.
You know, suddenly the gym starts to look a little bit.
It's a bit thin. Yeah, it's
know?
just thin with numbers. Yeah.
It's just, you know, like the numbers. It's just there's just high level sparring. You know, like the whole time.
So I was going to say,
just high level sparring. There's obviously high level coaching as well.
Yeah.
But the main difference was the number of high level training partners, and obviously like top quality coaching as well. You know, obviously.
Yeah, I'd imagine that would make a difference, because if you're obviously you got to think about each kind of club. If you're not like ATT, or if you're not Tristar, if you're not Alliance, if you're not one of these, or Team Alpha Male, deemed as one of these big clubs, if you're the local, there is a restricted number of fighters you'll have. So, for example, my club had, let's think, there was me, who was, I was the only guy who was over £200 competing. You had another guy who was down at welterweight competing, and then from then onwards you had a guy down at 155, a guy down at, then you had a few at 145, and then that was it really. It was really spread out, the weight classes. So, you know, for me, I found it difficult because I couldn't roll against guys who were my size. You know, everyone was small and quick, but then again, the guys who were maybe a bit smaller in the 155 and stuff, they couldn't find that many guys that were their size as well, so they'd have to be lumped with me, and I would just lay on them and go, yeah, I'll just lie down here for 3 minutes. Yeah, roll, yeah, okay, awesome, I'll move on now. So it does make a difference, you know, and it's not even being, you know, negative. It's just there is a restriction in what you can do when you've only got so many numbers, because you can only have so many in that area probably going to there. But when you've got the mega gyms, you know, everyone flocks there. It's like a magnet, so you're going to get, like you say, that consistency of high level guys. When you were competing with them, how you know, did you find that it improved yourself because of, you know, you're having to keep on your toes all the time?
Yeah, it's just, yeah, definitely. Like you know, there's never like sometimes with, you know, not being disrespectful to anyone, but sometimes like you can maybe take your foot off the gas a little bit with some of your training partners or whatever. But there, like, you know, there's everyone as well is of a like mind. You know, they're all pushing for something.
Yeah.
You know, even the guys that have to like for example, just like this brother, there was one guy there, and he was living in the dorms, fella Mario, and he'd like go to work. You know, he's not in the UFC, so he'd go to work, and then he'd like do the early shift at work so he could get to the pro session for 12. You know, he'd do the pro session, and then he'd get back, and then he'd go straight back to work. You know, like, so there was always, everyone had like the mindset of going, you know, like they want to get to training. There's never like a, you know, like I just missed today or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that guy wasn't even fighting. You know.
Yes.
He that was just what he did, and you know, and sometimes like it, obviously we've got people of that mindset in the gym, like at our gym at BKK, but you know, it's, you know, there's 2 or 3 of them, you know, where there's 30 at TriStar.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's huge, crazy. And obviously, with the training that you did over there, you probably came back then with some little nuggets to even pass on to your teammates. Because obviously, if you improve the people around you, it improves yourself.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's the that's, you know, that is, you know, hopefully you're not building, you know, students or whatever. You're building like training partners.
Yeah.
you know, sort of takes the pro sessions, and then his younger brother Eamon teaches in the mornings as well, and I would do his classes. So you know, you're gonna pick things up 100%, along with all the little like snippets of advice that were given to me, like from the other guys, like that I sparred with. They were like, oh, like maybe try this, do that, keep this here, pressure here.
Yeah.
You know, that was really good. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of them ones where you're there for 3 weeks. You just literally got to be a sponge and just take in as much as you can and just soak it all up, and then use it. And obviously now you've got this fight coming up, and you can literally go into the fight now with the fact that you know you've just been training with killers constantly. But does that make you relax a little bit more when you come into the fight? Because obviously you want to do 2016, you want to come into this fight and, you know, you want to rectify, you know, a couple of silly fit losses that you know, I'm not saying the judging was poor, but let's just say, you know, you want to rectify 2015 with a good win in 2016 to start off with, and plus knowing that Cage Warriors is coming back, it's also probably another incentive, I'd imagine.
You know, 100%. You know, I'm going to go out there and, you know, last year I had a dip, and I basically just didn't show what I was capable of doing, and you know, for whatever reason, you know, and I'm going out this Saturday. I'm going to show people, you know, show everyone what I'm capable of doing, and you know, that will result in me getting my hand raised, most definitely. You know. Yeah,
exactly. Cause I know what you can do. So I've watched your stuff before, and you know, I think with an absolute stellar performance this weekend, you could go up again. You can go back into Cage Warriors, and I tell you what, you can have some excellent fights matched up with you there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's hang on 1 second. I'm on the phone. Yeah, so it's yeah, like not looking past anything. You know, I've got a tough challenge on Saturday, so I'm 100. You know, I'm 100% concentrated on that. But obviously, you know, if things are coming up on the horizon, you know, it's I'll be ready to take them opportunities as well. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think you got this fight coming up, and he is an experienced competitor, and it's not someone to take lightly, you know, because he has got, like you say, with experience, you learn tricks, you learn little things. He'll have some tricks up his book. He has got a record of getting those decision wins. You know, he's the kind of guy that can grind out a 3-rounder.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's definitely something that you got to keep. But the thing is, I think because you've been training with guys at Tristar, I just think we're going to see a different kind of, you know, Sean Carter coming up with this, because it will obviously train with them guys. Will give you a bit more knowledge, and also a confidence thing to know that you've been sparring with guys who are who are fighting in the UFC, which that's always got to be a pick me up.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm just, you know, I'm ready. I'm prepared. Like, the training's been good, so I just got to go out there and, you know, let it all hang out on Saturday. That's basically, like, no holding back. Just get things done.
Exactly. I wouldn't let it all hang out, mate, because they might arrest you for that.
Yeah.
Do it after.
I'll probably go like 90% hanging out.
Let 90. Like, that'll do. That'll be fine.
and then save the 100% for like after the fight.
Yeah, the after party. Hey, Sean, look, dude. Look, have a great fight. I can't watch it this weekend. I can't watch it on. It's going to be.
What's wrong with you people?
The reason why I can't watch it, I've got a legit reason. I will be. I'm tied up with the British Army, mate. This weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's no streaming in the tent or something.
Nah, mate. Nah. We've just got to get up in sleeping bags together and cuddle up. So that's yeah. So we go 100% there.
Sounds cozy.
Yeah. So I've got an excuse for not being able to watch it. I won't be able to find out the results until Sunday night. Like 9 o'clock onwards. I won't be able to find the results, mate.
No problems. I'm sure you'll be able to catch up on it.
I will do, but I'm sure you can watch it, ladies and gentlemen, on MMATV.com, I think it is, or .co.uk, or MMA. It's MMA
something like that.
Yeah, it's if you go on to BCMMA Facebook page or the Twitter, go on there. It will have the link on. But before I let you go, Sean, what's your social media stuff so people can jump on and give you a follow, mate?
Okay, so on Twitter, I am Sexy Curls MMA, and the same for Instagram. On Sexy Curls MMA. Sexy Curls MMA all over the place, basically.
Yeah, jump on, give him a follow. I follow him. You should all follow him as well. And what about, buddy, your sponsors? You got any sponsors there helping you out?
I'm lucky enough to have got quite a few, and I always forget one. So I'm going. I'm going to try and get them all in. So I've got E-Protein, look after all my supplements, which they do a great job with that. I've got Octagon Wear that supply me with kit, which is very thankful for that. Almighty Fightwear that deal with all my fight shorts and like walkout tees, so they do really good custom stuff, so check them out for that. I've got Valor Fightwear, which is a jiu-jitsu and no-gi brand, so if you compete or just do any sort of jiu-jitsu, check them out. Funky Gums, keeping my teeth in my face, which is always handy. And I think that is it. I know I would have forgot one of them, and I'm going to get telling off. And of course, obviously, all the guys at BKK Fighters, all the guys at Progressive Martial Arts, and all the guys at Champions Gym. So they're the gyms I do predominantly all my training at. And of course, at Powering Through at my gym, which is I do my strength and conditioning. And so that's everyone, I think.
There you go. Like, mate, trust me, I've had guys. I remember we had Scott Askin on, and he couldn't remember his sponsors. He had to go and find his fight poster. This was before the UFC deal came in, and he had to go and find a fight poster to get banner, to find his sponsors to go through them. Honestly, you get loads of guys like it. They just sit there and go, "Yeah, I'm gonna forget one." It happens. It's not.
I think I've got all of them, but if I have forgot one, I apologise. Please don't drop.
Hey, Sean, thanks very much for your time again, mate. Have a great fight and just enjoy your weekend, buddy.
Thanks, dude. You enjoy yourself. Everyone, tune in.
Yes.
Everyone, tune in.
Tune in. Not just for Sean, but just for the card itself as well. It's a stellar card. Hell of a good stack. Lots of fights there. Get in, get watching. If you're not at the event itself, watch it live. Like I said, go on the BCMMA Facebook page, Twitter page. You'll see all the links and get watching, folks.